This conference will now be recorded.
6 years old, and I teach food technology, both BTech, MTech in Osmania University. And then, like, I'm a regular person. Like, it's not that, like, I do a lot of pujas or something, regular puja and things like that. But yeah, exactly. Last year, I had surgery, open heart for valve replacement. So, yes, that probably might have changed my lookout towards life. And when I just heard about Bhagavad Gita and things like that, I slowly started reading and hearing people, and I felt I was interested, and I wanted to formally do something like, it's just reading is completely different. And so I thought, like, a friend of mine, as I told you, Dr. Wagre, she told me that about you and your number. So I thought, let me just, and the minute I connected to you, you told that this class had just started. So I couldn't get chance yesterday because I also have classes, online classes. So I had to set my time and adjust my time. But I do have time. It's not like that. But, always some things which you have not started, you take little thing. So today when I was hearing to all the members, I felt like I am joining this group like way late. Like, those, all of you are so young and you are into it. Like,
each one of us are in the same boat, so nothing to really worry. So we are very fortunate that you are also joining this group, and hope we could meet your expectation. And especially I am not
yes.
a great person with a lot of knowledge, but yeah, I can share whatever I know. And I come from a background where I did my masters in fiber optical communication from JNTU, Hyderabad. Then I went to IIT Delhi and did my research there. So I came back and worked in IT industry, and then moved to US, regular stuff. Then came back, started my own software firm. I went to I wanted to practice Ayurveda, so I went into Ayurveda and became a registered medical practitioner. So I kind of so it's and the journey with this Bhagavad Gita and spiritual has been there for quite some time now, probably 20 years now. But
yes.
not so much matured. So I would like to get some help from all of you. So yeah, thank you so much.
No, it was very interesting. Like the whole 1.5 hours I was listening, I like never felt like, I was bored or something. It was very nice. It was very acceptable. So probably I have to also change a bit. Like, I'm in a very inception stage as compared to you all.
So probably because we are all on the same platform, on the same level. So that's the reason why you get connected. That's how it is. So I am not an elevated soul. I am also like you. So that is one of the reasons. And thank you so much for listening the video yesterday. And please interact if you have any questions. Okay.
Yes,
thank you so much.
Of course, sir.
I couldn't really interact with a lot of people actually because of the time constraint. So since we have 5 more minutes, I wanted to see if those people who not introduced earlier and who are new, especially those who have not been in my DBS Discover Yourself class, can introduce themselves. Who have newly joined, just briefly. So all of you are in the DYS class? Okay. Nitin, were you in DYS class? So who is this KK? So please do not write your abbreviations because I wanted to know by name. Okay.
Hello.
Yes, Prabhuji. Who is this?
Me, Krishna, sir.
Oh, what's your full name?
My name is Krishnamacharya, sir.
Krishnamacharya.
Yeah.
Oh, the yoga teacher. Okay. So,
yeah.
Used to be a great yoga teacher. Okay. So KK means Krishnamacharya, and your surname is?
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
So write your full name. So I want to take your full name. So next time.
Okay. No,
If possible
issue.
now, if not. Okay. So can you introduce yourself, please?
This is Krishna. I'm working as a accounts manager in a liquor manufacturing company in Hyderabad.
Okay.
Along with this, I'm having knowledge of this yoga. Okay, not this bhakti yoga and all this. This is having this especially Siddhi Samadhi yoga,
Oh,
and
Siddhi
in that,
Samadhi Yoga. Okay. I
yeah,
also
yeah,
did
yeah.
Samadhi Yoga. Hmm.
I have done that Siddhi Samadhi yoga. After that, I have taken training for the children Siddhi Samadhi yoga.
Okay, from Rushi
After,
Prabhakar. Rushi
yeah,
Prabhakar.
yeah.
Okay, I know
Rishi
him.
Prabha.
I've done a couple of classes and trainings when I was in Delhi. Okay, good.
Oh, okay. After that, long time, I am having this kind of interactions in these kind of classes. I don't have a
Okay,
time to join this kind of association. Okay,
good.
that's why I am.
We are using the lockdown period very wisely. Fine.
we are
Thank you so
uh,
much.
we are utilizing this time. This is a precious time to us.
Right, right. So can I also get some feedback or some something somebody can introduce themselves with a few more minutes actually.
I don't
Hello,
have
Prabhuji.
much.
Yeah, thank you, Krishnamachari. Thank you, Prabhu. Yeah, who is the next
Hare
one?
Krishna Prabhuji.
Hello, Suresh here, Prabhuji.
Suresh ji. Yeah, please. You introduced
Yeah,
for first time when you joined. You introduced, right?
just introduced briefly, but it's not
Go
introduction
ahead.
part. I have a small doubt here.
Oh,
If we
sure,
have
sure.
time, we can
Yeah. Go ahead, sir.
see. See, while I was going through the introduction part of Bhagavad Gita as it is, the Krishna descends to this planet once in a day of Brahma, which is given as 86 billion years.
86,000 million years, which is what he said is correct.
Eh,
86,000 million years.
Yeah, but while I was going through what is kalpa, which is called as kalpa, right?
Okay. So, sir, it'll probably take
So
some
it
time.
is
What we'll do,
okay.
because we just wanted to start this class on time. So can you post it so I can address it later if you don't mind? Because I just wanted to.
Sure, Prabhu. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Okay.
One
Yeah.
last
Could we get
person.
it in the
Yeah, if you wanted to introduce, we have 2 more minutes to go. I'll just start Kirtan. If not. Okay, fine. I'll just start the Kirtan then. And after that, Suresh ji, you please post your question and either in the chat or in the WhatsApp group or to me personally is your choice and we'll address it. Huh? So please don't mind.
Okay, Prabhu.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. If you want, if you can also sing while you are there without unmuting, that would be nice. So please join with me. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Everyone, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। So thank you all for joining today for this session, Bhagavad Gita class 2, day 2. And I'm really happy that I've seen a lot of people coming on time. So thank you so much once again. So we'll get started, but before that, I'd like to quickly summarize what we discussed yesterday. Let me share my screen. Is my audio okay with you? All of you are able to hear me, right?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah. So there is no signal low, right? Because I'm not using this here. I'm just putting it outside. Is that okay?
It's fine, Prabhuji.
Okay. If you have any difficulty with audio, let me know. I'll just get it back. Okay. So just to summarize what we discussed yesterday, and so we discussed the importance of the Bhagavad Gita, why one should read Bhagavad Gita, and the one other aspect we said what is there in Bhagavad Gita. We talked about there is a lot of mystery there, and which we can relate to ourselves also, and there is a lot of ambiguity which also we can relate, because what will happen tomorrow we don't know. It's a mystery for us. And the ambiguity is that in our life we have seen that so many times we are in a position not to take decisions, not able to take decisions. All this has happened, and we can relate so well. And one of the other things what I have presented here, if you see on the screen, is that Lord Krishna descends. Why he descends into this world and why does he Bhagavad Gita? Is because to re-establish the real purpose of life. Okay, so that's one of the primary reasons why he descends and he has given Bhagavad Gita. Can you mute, please? So whosoever is not muted, please. So re-establish the real purpose of our life. So that is what out of many human births, some awaken of them, and one is actually entered into the spirit of understanding his position. That is where Bhagavad Gita comes into picture. Okay. So that's the brief about what we discussed. And one of the things that I wanted to also tell you that we discussed that there are three, basically Bhagavad Gita is divided into three: Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, and Jnana Yoga. And in between, why Bhakti is there, we also saw elaborate discussion on that. And in addition to that, the topics that have been discussed in Bhagavad Gita are 5 basic topics. One is Ishvara. Ishvara, as one of you has asked yesterday, who is Ishvara? Ishvara and Bhagavan are one and the same, supreme controller. And Jiva is a living entity, that is you and me are all Jivas. Prakriti, the material world that you see around, all this is Prakriti. And Kala is time, and Karma is activity. And one of the things that you will find that all these are eternal. Ishvara, Jiva, Prakriti, and Kala is eternal, and Karma is not eternal. So we'll discuss in great detail, because Bhagavad Gita talks about all this in very great detail. So that's all I would want to say. So today we would like to continue our journey, taking the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita, observing the armies. Just getting used to this. Why is this? One second. Please bear with me. Okay. So the first chapter, the observing the armies on the battlefield of Kuruksetra. So just an overview about this first chapter is that the spiritual journey usually starts with a doubt. So in and if you have in my previous Discover Yourself class, we have seen that so what is dharma, and we have quoted a verse from Bhagavatam, from Mahabharata, saying that ahara nidra bhaya maitunancha samanya metat pasubirana dharmo hitesham adhiko vishesho dharmena hina pasubi samana. So that's the quote that we have given, and we said that there are 4 common things between human beings and animals: eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. If we are doing the same thing and doing nothing else, then there is no other difference between you and the animals. So that's what Shastra is saying. And what is the difference? It also mentions dharmo hi tesham adhiko vishesho dharmena hina pasubi samana. So it says that if there is something called dharma, if you identify and relate yourself and work along with that, with that faculty, then that is where your human form of life which is given to you, you are justifying. So what is dharma? It also defines at the first level from Brahma Sutra. It says that atato Brahma Jignasa. So Brahma Jignasa means a inquisitiveness, a inquiry. Who am I? Who is God? Is there anything beyond this life and death? So why am I suffering here? These are some of the inquiries, and it starts with a doubt. So that's what your spiritual journey starts with a doubt. So each one of us, and now the first chapter that we are talking about is acronym to doubt. So we will elaborate on this subject today. And the spiritual, as I just mentioned, the spiritual journey starts with a doubt that whatever now Arjuna is facing, the doubt that he has, and similarly you also have so many doubts in your life. And that's the reason why you came to this particular Bhagavad Gita class. And I am also inquisitive about a lot of things that are happening in my life, and I wanted a solution to that. And that's the reason why we are reading Bhagavad Gita, and we wanted to understand ourselves and a lot of things, right? Over the years, our friends, family, society, and media painted a perfect picture of success to us, and we subsequently shaped our lives to in a determined way to pursue it. But sometimes a doubt arises, saying that whether this is the perfect life that was pictured by the media, by the society, by the family, by the friends. Is this the perfect picture, or is there something else also? Because you're not getting the ultimate happiness in your life. So that is where again a question comes, right? So we all begin with a materialistic goals, aspirations, a lot of milestones, and the way we wanted to succeed, and that we wanted to find out whether the ultimate goal is to attain certain material things in your life. These are all there in our doubts. As doubts, it is there. So one could also find out that what is the deeper purpose of my life. What is my deeper purpose? Okay, so suppose I got $1 million in my account, and I'm wealthy now. But still, people who are wealthy, they still have this lingering doubts, whatever doubts you have right now. Though you are a pauper, you are a millionaire, all these people still have a doubt, because there is a deeper purpose in our life, and that is the initial doubt that can bring you to a lot of confusion and uncertainty, and that will really lead you to a spiritual journey. So that is what now Arjuna is facing. He is in doubt, he is in uncertainty, and he doesn't know what to do. So that is the kind of situation we are all into, and we'll take that plunge of going into the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita, which is acronymed Duryodhana, Dhritarashtra and Duryodhana. Okay, so that's what we will be discussing. So first D is for Dhritarashtra and Duryodhana. We'll discuss basically on that. Okay, so as one of you has said, one of the goals is that we also wanted to kind of these slokas or verses which are there, we wanted to pronounce ourselves. Okay, so what I would like to request you is that once I read it, you can also the second time when I say, you can also repeat the same. Or if one of you are interested, you can unmute and repeat after me. Okay, the one person who can get a choice. So whosoever wants to unmute, you can unmute, and you can pronounce after me. Okay. So the first verse from Bhagavad Gita, it starts with Dhritarashtra asking Sanjaya what is happening in the battlefield. That's what it is. Dhritarashtra uvacha, Dhritarashtra uvacha, Dharma kshetre Kuruksetre, Dharma kshetre Kuruksetre. Yeah, go ahead. One of you can go.
Dharma kshetre Kuruksetre.
Okay. Samaveta Yutsava.
Samaveta Yutsaha.
Samaveta Yutsavaha.
Samaveta Yujutsaha.
Mamakaha Pandavaschaiva.
Mamakaha Pandavasaiva.
Kim Akurvanta Sanjaya.
Kim Apurvata Sanjaya.
Okay, so you can mute it, Prabhu, now. Okay, so I will pronounce this verse continuously. You'll see that Bhagavad Gita is a song, as a song by the Lord, right? So you can when you take Bhagavad Gita, you can also sing, and you can get it by heart. Small children get by heart all 700 slokas also. So you can also try. Okay. Dharmakshetre Kurukshetre Samaveta Mamakaha Pandavaschaiva Kim Akurvata Sanjaya. So here word to word translation is also given, but we will not go there. Dhritarashtra said, O Sanjaya, after my sons and the sons of Pandu assembled in the place of pilgrimage at Kurukshetra, desiring to fight, what did they do? So that is what the first inquiry came from Dhritarashtra, and Sanjaya is the minister. We have seen that. So that's what it is. Okay. So now let's analyze this verse, what it is. Kuruksetra is a place which is called Dharmakshetra. Why? If you know, the Kauravas have got the name, Kauravas have got that name. Actually, all are Kauravas only. Later on, they divided into Kauravas, meaning Dhritarashtra's sons and Pandava's sons separately, actually. But Kuru is the grandfather of all these people. He started the dynasty, Kuru dynasty, and he did lot of penances in Kurukshetra, where the place is there. Like, because Kuru has done a lot of penances there, that is the reason it became Kurukshetra. Kshetra meaning a place where Kuru has done a lot of penances, and it became a Dharma Kshetra because of his presence and doing so many pious activities there. Okay, so that's about the Kurukshetra, and it's a very religious ritual performed. And so Lord Krishna, being the Supreme Personality of Godhead, was present there. That is one of the reasons why it is called Dharma Kshetra also, because wherever Lord is there, it is a Dharma Kshetra only, right? And it's a place of worship of even the heavenly people come there and worship, because it is such a religious and holy place. Pandavas are righteous, and that is one of the reasons this kind of a place will favor those righteous people. Okay, and Bhishma, Dorna are saintly, so they will naturally have tendency to support the righteous people. So if you have seen, that is how it has happened also. So and Dhritarashtra distinguishes the Pandavas from Kurus. That means the Kuru, as if you see these births, he says Mamakaha Pandavas Cheva. Mamaka means my children and Pandu's children, he says. So he is distinguishing their kids and Pandu's sons. So that's how he has favoritism he has shown. Being a king, you shouldn't be doing that. And if you analyze deeply why all this has happened, see, we will discuss the role of Duryodhana and Dhritarashtra in this context. So how to understand Bhagavad Gita, we have seen yesterday. And so if you see Dhritarashtra and Duryodhana, so what has happened is that if you can relate to your mundane world, material world, if you see, there are some people innately evil. So that means they are evil only. So a doubt may come, why is that there are some people who are evil all the time? So we wanted to understand, and the role of Duryodhana and Dhritarashtra. If you see, Duryodhana, when he took birth, he was crying like a donkey, and hearing that his cry as a donkey, there are a lot of other creatures like jackals and crows, and they were also crying like anything. So it is a kind of a bad indication that came, and including Bhishma and Drona and other people, what they said that to Dhritarashtra, kill this kid. He is not going to give you any repute. He is going to be destruction to you. But what happened is that the Dhritarashtra wanted to be a good father, but he doesn't want to be a good king. So for that reason, he did not allow to kill his son Duryodhana. So that is where you see that all these things have happened. And one of the things, why do people do bad things? If you see, a lot of people do bad things. Why do people do bad things? If you dig deeper, you'll find that people do bad things because one reason is that at one level, because they have greed, they have desires. See, now if you see, Duryodhana also did all these bad things because he had greed. He had a lot of desires. Now, in our life also, we see that we are also not, we cannot say that we are not greedy. So we are also greedy. We are also having desires. Then what does it, how do we see people in, we also have done a lot of bad things in our life. You cannot say that you did not do any bad things, right? So how do we see this means? As per Bhagavad Gita, it very clearly mentions how do we see things. So if you see, in Bhagavad Gita, I think it is in 16th chapter, 4th verse, it talks about the qualities of demoniac nature people and the divine people. So the chapter name itself is divine and demoniac nature, chapter 16 in Bhagavad Gita. And the fourth verse of that particular chapter, it says that Dambo Darpo Bhimasya Cha Krado Parishyacha Evacha. So basically, it says that some of the people have got very bad qualities, qualities such as hypocrisy, arrogance, anger, harshness, and ignorance. All these are there. And these are some of the things that you see in people nowadays also. If you see, can you say that you are not angry or you are not harsh, you are not hypocrite? Sometimes you also be like a hypocrite. So how do we really find out? Can you say yourself that you are a demon there? So how do we qualify to say that somebody is a demon? Right, that's what then Bhagavad Gita very clearly says that it's not like some people are bad and some people are good. It is that everybody is in a spectrum. Everybody is in a spectrum. So one side, if it is virtuous side, and the other is the vicious side. So what happens is that we are somewhere in between vicious and virtuous. We are not 100% on the though there are people who are there on the vicious side also, but very close to vicious side. So but now the point that comes is that if everybody has craving for money and desires, and so it is more important to know that there is nothing wrong to have any desire, but how do you execute that particular desire is more important. And once you execute, obviously there will be a lot of obstacles that come into your path, and how do you take care of that obstacles is more important. There are people that kind of demoniac people, what do they do is that if suppose somebody is an obstacle to you, they kind of with the hook or crook, in the wrong way or the right way, they don't care, they just finish off those kind of people. That is what happened with Duryodhana. If you see, he also tried to kill Pandavas so many times, and he kind of in a cheating way they have defeated in the match that they were playing, and dice match that they played, and so many things they did. And all this is just because they have tendency towards the demoniac nature. So they totally in a demoniac way that they were trying to do. So one of the other quality about these demoniac people is that even though they have so many of these kind of negative qualities such as arrogance, hypocrisy, anger, harshness, all this they have, but they feel that that is their strength, and with that strength they wanted to rule over people and cover the people, and they do not feel that there is anything wrong in having that kind of qualities. So they feel that it is a feather in their hat. Because of my anger only I am able to. Sometimes people say that why am I very harsh? Because unless and until somebody is not working, why should I be harsh? So there are other ways to do things, right? So they are not really acknowledging those kind of things. Now I relate this to one of the mundane things that happened. See, when Coca-Cola was introduced in India, how they introduced Coca-Cola, you know, and there is a lot of analysis. You go and search in the internet how Coca-Cola was introduced. When they introduced Coca-Cola, they took away all this goli soda. I don't know whether somebody knows about goli soda. They in Chennai there used to be goli sodas, and there is a small scale. A lot of people used to manufacture themselves only. Like if I have a goli soda in my small what is a pawn shop kind of thing, I used to have my own unit to produce goli soda. So that used to be very simple. Now when Coca-Cola was introduced, what they did is that with the review plan, they brought all the goli soda bottles by paying higher amount to all these people, because they wanted it. If it is, suppose it is costing like 10 rupees, they paid 20 rupees, and they brought all goli soda, whatever refilling is required, all that they bought and destroyed. And now To manufacture again all the goli soda bottles, it will take a lot of time. And it took like around 6 to 7 months to come to some stage where you can think of producing the goli soda bottles. And while that was happening, they introduced Coca-Cola and the entire market was taken. So this is how the evil-minded people do. They don't think that this is right, wrong, how it will really affect the other people. They do not think at all. Then similarly, when tea was introduced, the way they were introduced tea and how they gave it, Britishers gave it to us, that's again a big story. So what I was telling is that, so when you take up, you also have desires and others also have desires. What distinguishes is that how do you really execute things, and when you find obstacles, how do you respond to that kind of situation? Whether you react to the situations or in general, when you respond also, are you really doing it in the rightful way to achieve your targets, or your hook or crook, king size I wanted to live, I don't care about others or whatever way they go, then that is where your nature is more towards the demoniac nature, right? So that is what Bhagavad Gita also is talking about in a greater detail in that chapter, 16th chapter. The king, the main villain in Mahabharata is Duryodhana, and we have seen that how Dhritarashtra, his father, has really helped Duryodhana to fulfill all his evil-minded desires, and all these things have happened. So one of the things you can also say that, see, though all these people are having demoniac nature, etc., but everybody is potentially or essentially pure. So you don't need to hate people who are having evil-mindedness. One thing is that they are also pure at their original position. Like potentially they are pure, but because of the conditioned situation they are in, because of interaction with the material nature, and because of the previous what do you say, life karma that they did, and the kind of karma that they are doing now. So all this really add up to do certain things in the way that they are doing. So that's what I wanted to talk about, the Duryodhana, the character. And in our life also, there are a lot of tribulations that we come across. There are a lot of temptation that we come across. And in the tribulation, you might have lost your job, you might have lost your health, or sometimes you might have lost your dear ones. How do you respond to that kind of a tribulation is what one should be seeing. Now, a lot of people who became terrorists, or for that matter, who became the red light Naxalites, they have seen that a lot of bad things happened in their life. And because of that, they wanted to react to that tribulation that they have come across, and they kind of take revenge on the society, they take revenge on the some sect of people or some countries becoming terrorists. You see, in US, there are few people who just go openly in a school and then shoot people. Well, why is that they do? You might say that they are psychopaths, sociopaths, or whatever. See, they basically what they became is that because something happened in their life and they just wanted to destroy others, or kill others to take care of their tribulation that has happened in their life, because they feel that since we are not happy, there are no right anybody to be happy. So since my mother or somebody was killed in a certain situation, then I don't want anybody to be there in the world. Like that's what Hitler did. Hitler, something happened with him at whatever time with Jews or etc. He started killing Jews left and right. That's how people react to situations, and they become psychopaths and like that. Right. And now important point to understand is that when somebody you get hurt or injured, they feel that there is nothing wrong what we are doing. That's the biggest thing that one should understand, right? So see that the other person, let's say like you and me, I'm just generalizing, you and me, when we do certain things, we repent. We say that, hey, I did something wrong. This is not the way I should do. And because we are more towards the virtuous kind of in the spectrum. The people who are demoniac by nature, they don't feel that there is something wrong what they have done. They justify themselves and do whatever needful to do more things. And sometimes what happens is that when they are doing this kind of demoniac activities, they wanted to boost themselves, their ego also, and in front of others, what they do is that they do some kind of a PR exercise. You know what is PR exercise, right? So the PR exercise, they give some charity, for charity they give a lot of money, and they kind of help the needy people, and they go to the temples and give some donation, and these kind of things they do. But they did not, they are doing it just because they wanted to do it as a PR activity. No self-realization has come to them. In the front of, in the eyes of others, they wanted to showcase that I am good. So that is what they wanted to showcase. But intrinsically, they have not changed. So that, see, why, this is what happened with Duryodhana also. Duryodhana, so when he was very good with Karna. He was so dear to Karna, and he has given Angarajya, I think he has given to him, and at the same time he was very close to him. And Duryodhana was very good to, very close to his brothers also. He used to take care of so much, very diplomatic. You'll see that if somebody has read chapter 1 of Bhagavad Gita, you can see how diplomatically he behaves. With Bhishma he behaves, Drona he behaves, and with all the people he is diplomatically behaving. So why all this? Because they intrinsically they don't want, they are not realized that what they are doing is wrong. But PR exercise. And if you see in Kuruksetra, when I think it was Nakula or Sahadeva's father-in-law, when he was coming to have relationship to assist the Pandavas in the Kuruksetra war, the hospitality part, all of a sudden what this guy Duryodhana does is that he gives a lot of hospitality to this person. And seeing that hospitality, this person, Nakula's father-in-law, I think, he kind of commits saying that now I'll only help you. So he's so diplomatic. So why I'm saying it is because in the world, if you see around yourself, there will be a lot of people who showcase themselves as very good just for PR reasons. And intrinsically, they are also evil. So one should be very careful with that kind of people. That's what I meant. But again, there is chance for them also to improve, but it takes a lot of desire from their end to really come out of their contamination that has happened to them. Okay, so that's one thing that I wanted to tell. And now, what is the lessons that we wanted to learn from this? One of the lessons what I wanted to bring in here is that, so if you see Duryodhana, the way he was brought up, Duryodhana, Dhritarashtra, the way he is also having evil-mindedness, and the way he was brought up, that also is very important. And it also depends upon the kind of samskaras that we get, and there are 16 types of samskaras one has to have in place when you are begetting children. So if you want, we can run through those 16 samskaras at a later point of time, and Garbhadharana samskara, and so a lot of things are there, how you should do those. That also gives us, and how do you upbring them, what kind of a culture that you are going to give them, and how do you correct them. Chanakya tells so many things about how to upbring their children. So probably if time permits, after this Bhagavad Gita classes are over, we can do one class on Grihastha Ashrama, and how do you beget children, and how do you cooperatively be in the family and also in the society, and how do you upbring your children. All this we can discuss one time. This is part of the Grihastha Ashrama, which is there in our Shastra. Okay, so what kind of characteristic, what kind of whether you are on the vicious side or on the virtuous side of the spectrum, it all depends upon, first thing is that how your upbringing has happened, one, and second is that the past life impressions you have. we have seen in the DYS classes that we have three kind of bodies. Can somebody remember what the three kind of bodies we have? Anybody? Nobody remembers what how many bodies we have?
Three.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Gross body, subtle body, soul.
Okay, cross body, subtle body, and soul. I want some other person to answer now. Okay, so we know gross body, which is made up of the 5 elements. What is subtle body made up of? Anybody who has not answered? I'll pick up people now who have attended the Subhashini Mataji. Did you attend the DYS classes?
That subtle body is made up of mind, intelligence, and ego.
Okay, okay, good. So I wanted others also to really read that Science of Self-Realization book and get these basic things also. So our body is made up of we have 3 bodies, as one of you have said, and the subtle body is made of mind, intelligence, and false ego. So now, as I was mentioning, whether we are on the vicious side or on the virtuous side, it depends upon 3 things. Please remember again, it depends upon 3 things. Okay, well, first one is that how your upbringing has happened to you. One. The second part is that the past life impressions that you are carrying, because you came with your subtle body. Subtle body has got mind, intelligence, and false ego. So that also is carrying impressions, right? So with that also, when you come, you tend to do certain things in a way that based on your past experience. Okay. The next very important is that what kind of an association that you're having. Very, very important, because association can change the other 2 also. Very important. Please remember. See what kind of people association that this guy had, Duryodhana had. He friends friends. What he had? He had Shakuni. He had Shishupala. He had Jarasandha. And these kind of people who are envious of Krishna, if they were demoniac by nature. Jarasandha was a demon. Who was Jarasandha? Anybody remembers who is Jarasandha?
Duryodhana.
Jarasandha.
Madura.
Who? Okay.
Jarasandha.
Nobody. Okay.
Is a father-in-law of
Mani's
Kamsa.
father.
Yes.
Jarasandha is Duryodhana's brother. Son-in-law of Kamsa.
Oh, yes.
Duryodhana's
Okay.
brother.
Not. Okay. So much.
Son-in-law of Kamsa. Duryodhana's brother.
Yeah, he was father-in-law.
Father-in-law.
Father-in-law
of Kamsa.
Yes, father-in-law of Kamsa. Okay. Thank you so much. Okay, so now Jarasandha, like he was envious of Krishna. Why he joined with Duryodhana? Because he wanted to kill Krishna. So Jarasandha, because he has killed Kamsa, his son-in-law, and his 2 daughters who were there became widows. So, but that's where Jarasandha came. Shishupala, you know who is Shishupala? Shishupala was actually,
Brother-in-law.
yeah. So Shishupala, you know, Vasudeva, who was the Krishna's father, Devaki and Vasudeva, right? And Vasudeva had 2 sisters. One is Kunti, is one sister, and the other sister is Sutta. What her name is? I think Sutta Subha. Sutta Subha was the Sutta Subha. Yeah, Sutta Subha was the other sister. Kunti is one, and Sutta Subha is the other sister. And Sutta Subha gave birth to this guy Shishupala. And Shishupala, but when he took birth, he took birth as Duryodhana kind of when bad omens were coming when Shishupala birth was happened. And now he had one extra eye also. And people wanted to kind of finish him also because it is not good for the earth for that kind of people. But again, they have told that the Shishupala will be his life will be ended by Krishna only, and later on being an aunt, Sutasubha of Krishna, she's an aunt, right? Attama we call it in Telugu. Right, so she took some oath saying that please do something to my son that you don't kill him. Then he said no, anyways he has to go, but based on his demoniac nature I will forgive him for 100 mistakes. After that I will not. And similarly that's what has happened. Like later on Shishupala was killed by Krishna's by Sudarshan Chakra. Okay, so where we were, why we are saying this? What was the context? Can somebody bring back to the topic?
Having association with
All right. So
people.
your nature, what kind of a nature you will get is depending upon three things. Can tell first one person tell me what is the first one?
Have you upbringing yourself?
Right. Can somebody tell me what is the second point? What it depends?
Past birth karmas.
Very good, very good. Past birth impressions. And the last one is the having the right kind of an association. So in our Shastra, it is mentioned that Lagu Matra Sadhu Sangha Sarva Siddhi Hoy. So if you have the right kind of an association, you can get a lot of things in your life that it will transform your life. If you see Srila Prabhupada, when he has interacted with some of the people, he might have interacted for 4 to 5 minutes only. But still with that small interaction also, people have really changed their demoniac nature also. They were beef eaters, they were women hunters, they were drug addicts. All these people have changed their life and they became Suddha Bhakta. They became Vaishnavas. So how will all this happen? Because of the association. Okay. I told you in the past, okay, we are running out of time. A lot of Bhagavatam actually, once Narada asked the importance of association to Mahavishnu, and it's the Bhagavatam, the story is there, how the importance of association comes in. Okay, we'll deal with that later. Okay. So yeah, so Dhritarashtra and Duryodhana, as I was mentioning, they have all these bad qualities, and at the same time, they don't. The one of the nature that these guys have is that they don't want to accept that whatever they are doing is wrong. That is the problem. So they feel that that is their virtue. That means that is their strength, and they wanted to do all these kind of things. Okay. And okay, so we'll discuss more about that. Okay, so let's summarize the Dhritarashtra and Duryodhana verses 1 to 12. Dhritarashtra is physically blind, but he and his son are also blinded by greed, envy, and material desire. Okay, as I mentioned, there is nothing wrong to have some material desire or some amount of greed or envy, because each one of us are conditioned. So we have. But the important point to understand is that how you are fulfilling the desires, material desires. What kind of steps you are taking when some obstacles come in your life. That's very important. So hook or crook, you don't want to fulfill your desires. That's what is happening in the world now. I have some desire to have some physical need is there where I wanted to mix with an opposite sex. Now, I do not want to follow the religious path and get married and have the desire fulfilled. Now, what I am doing, I am having relationship with anybody who is there. I kind of fulfill my desire. That's what demoniac nature is. So it all depends. See, that's where religious principles have to be followed, because we are all having desires. And in Bhagavad Gita, we will see that the Kama has been given connotations in two aspects. Kama means kind of desire. Kama also means sex. It's also related to sex. So how you really fulfill your desires, the path that you take is more important. When obstacle comes, how you deal with that is also very important. And all this to happen, we have seen that in my previous what you say, the flow chart that I have sent you, how you should take care of your desires. please review that, and if you have any questions, let me know. And in the next class, which is in the next week, I will discuss about that in greater details. So how, what kind of if you have material desires, spiritual desires, how do you, and what's the importance of having a guru in your life? And the guru meaning a person who can guide you. Like we are reading Bhagavad Gita now. This is guiding you. Now you know that how do I take care of my desires? How do I? So this is what is guru. And I am learning or I am teaching from Bhagavad Gita, or so that is what is acting like a guru. A physical guru is also required. You cannot just read it and obtain this knowledge, because somebody has to help you. Somebody helped me. So similarly, I am trying to help you with the minimal knowledge that I have, right? Okay, when the individual starts to think in terms of I, me, and mine, primarily interested in selfish gain and personal aggrandizement, then in anxiety, frustration, disappointment is inevitable. So understand that the more the I you have, the more me you have, the more mine, all these things will lead to your selfishness, and that will lead to your frustration, disappointment, etc. So they say that one letter word in the entire dictionary which is having selfishness is I. So one should be very careful with that. I might have told you in my one of the classes where I mentioned that one time a spiritual guru, and he has lot of shishyas, and the shishyas asked him a question to the spiritual master. Guruji, we are all being in your association, so what will happen to us? Will be able to go to the Goloka or whatever spiritual body is there, will we be able to go? So then Guruji says that na hoge hogitini. This is in Kannada. It says na hoge hogitini. Then all the disciples are surprised now to interpret that, saying that na hoge hogitini means if I go, I will go. Then what about ourselves? We are all his shishyas. We are all following his path only. Whatever he's saying, we are following. What will happen to us? He's saying that very selfishly. If there is a chance that I can go, I will go. But I don't know about you. That's the way they have interpreted. Later on, the Guru says that the concept of I, when it goes away, then there is a chance for you to go to the spiritual world. Because that quality spiritual world means, yes, there is a spiritual world for sure. This is a material world, but you can also experience that spiritual bliss in yourself when you give up this I. See, I may not boost myself to tell anything, but for setting and to give you an example, suppose I am doing this particular Bhagavad Gita course. I'm charging you 5,000 rupees, and I tell you that if you come to this course, I'll charge you 5,000 rupees, and I can guarantee you that this particular thing will happen in your life, blah blah blah. I can give you a lot of things, but means I have a lot of intention of having a desire to grab something from you and give. But that when I do that internally, I feel so bad, because I am focused on myself and my selfish interest. Suppose I do it to help others, the way others have helped me, the way to come to the platform, whichever I am. So similarly, if I am helping others, see how blissful you are. So that's the kind of experience each one of us should have in your life. Put it into practice. That's where you see that. So what you need to do, the amount of I that you have, minimize it. Minimize your physical needs, whatever. See, what is happening with this is all the root cause we have seen in our previous classes. What is the root cause of all these problems is because the education system has, which is getting imparted, is nonsense actually. The education system, what are they teaching? For 20 years they are with the this education system. Please forgive me, there are a lot of professors and other teaching staff here, but the fact, this is what Srila Prabhupada said. He said that all these people going to the educational institutions, which is Macaulay's kind of an education system, what they are learning, they are not respecting their parents, they are not respecting elders, they are not respecting our culture, they are not respecting our scriptures. What are they? They are not respecting our leaders, they are not respecting our country. So what are they doing? And after 20 years, when this person comes out of the college or whatever educational institution, he is in a confused state. He doesn't know what to do in his life. So that is the kind of situation we are in. It is very, I'm kind of little more than required voice I'm raising. One, because the education system is so much destroyed by these Britishers. You call it Britishers or label anybody, but now the situation is that we are not able to do anything. At least with this Bhagavad Gita education, if we can transform few lives, that is what we wanted. Okay, unfortunately, one who is materially entangled becomes obvious to the ill effects of his actions. Okay, so don't get materially entangled, because this education system, what it is doing is that it is telling you how to earn money. See, just please understand this. Education, once you complete your BTech or MTech or BCom or MCom or whatever, it will tell you how to earn money, but it will not tell you how much to earn. It's very important. You need to know how much to earn. So because once the people are coming into the job area, they are in that rat race. They are in the rat race. Why they are working, slogging themselves? What for? They are not having any idea. It's like a rat race. Ask yourself, what do you really want? How much physical needs you needed to have? And focus on other essential things also. Just don't go into the rat race. So that's what is happening. Okay, so just be careful. That's what I'm saying. Okay, so so the next in the doubt, we have seen that the acronym for today is one is that D stands for Dhritarashtra and Duryodhana. O stands for omnious results. So omnious results meaning which is quite evident that is going to happen. Despite Duryodhana's boastful words, the omnious results of this confrontation is made clear from the onset. He has seen that there are stored so many signals that indicate that the defeat is inevitable. So can somebody remember who was the first person who said to Duryodhana that you will lose this war? Anybody can remember? Who?
Bhishma Pitama.
Bhishma Pitama. Who was the first person? No, that's not right. Who was the first person? Again, anybody else? Any wild guess? One of his best friends have
Karna. Angaraj Karna.
Okay, no, that's not the right answer.
Shakuni?
That's right. Shakuni is the right answer. When did he say, you know? When did he say that you will lose the war? Okay, so what happened is that when Duryodhana went to take help of Krishna, so obviously he doesn't wanted to sit. Like Krishna was kind of in a posture, a sleeping posture, and he was sleeping, and Arjuna came, and Duryodhana came, but Duryodhana came first. There was two chairs there. One chair was under the feet of what we say Krishna, and the other one was near the head of Krishna. So the Duryodhana said, what, I am a king, and why should I sit near the feet of Krishna? So I will sit in the other chair. So where he goes and sits very close to his head of Krishna, and Duryodhana sits there, and when next Arjuna comes, he sits near the foot of Krishna. Now, as soon as Krishna wakes up, he sees Arjuna and says, "Hi, Arjuna, how are you doing?" And they exchange. And Duryodhana says, "No, I came first." Okay, so no, but I saw Arjuna first, whatever. But then finally, he asked, "What do you want from me?" And then Krishna says that I'll divide my entire whatever Narayani Sena is there, all is one side, and I myself, without using any weapon, I'll be on one side. So you guys choose. And finally, the choice is given, and but Duryodhana is very happy that Narayani Sena is coming his side, and Arjuna choose to take Krishna. And Duryodhana is now with his diplomatic mindset and the materialistic mindset, he thinks that what is Krishna? So he is just a coward boy, and at the same time he is not going to fight in the war. So what will I do with this fellow? So better that it's good that I was thinking that Arjuna will take Narayani Sena and give Krishna to me. Good that he has not given. He has chosen foolishly Krishna. And now he's in a very happy mood. He goes and first thing he goes and tells to when he meets Shakuni, he says that I see what so much good thing has happened to me now. And Narayani Sena is also in my bucket. Then Shakuni says, foolish fellow, you will lose the war. That's what he told, Shakuni told, because you have foolishly you have not taken the chance of having Krishna on your side. Now, where he knows, Shakuni also knows. Okay, and okay, there's a lot of things that we can tell about Shakuni also. How really he whatever he is doing also, he is doing it for his own selfish needs. He is doing, but that's a different story. Okay. So that's what he got. The results were very obvious. The indications were there that these guys, Kauravas, will lose the war. And because one is that they are these people are not righteous. They did all the nonsense things what has to be done. They disrobed Draupadi. They have burnt the Lakshagra and trying to kill the Pandavas, and poisoned who the Bhishma, not Bhishma. Bhima, sorry, yes. So they poisoned Bhima, and good things happened to him. That when he went, when they poisoned and then put it in the ocean, he goes into the Patal Loka. And when they go to Patal Loka, a lot of other what do you say? There are snakes, poisonous snakes that are there, and they bite him. And when they bite, because of the reaction with the poison that they have administered, this Kauravas administered, and the poison of this particular, what do you say, the snakes, that has removed the poison from his, because of that reaction. And now later on, he goes there and he gets a lot of strength because he drinks there the nectar there, and he gets 10,000 elephant worth of strength, etc. Okay, so that's what it is. So one who carries goodness is never overcome by evil. Okay, so that's what it is. Right. So let's go to the next sloka. Okay. So I will just read it because it is not happening that we can do it because of the lack of time. Okay. Panchajanya Hrishikesho. I'll repeat it twice so you can also speak at your level. So don't unmute. Okay. So Panchajanya Hrishikesho. Panchajanya Hrishikesho. Devadattam Dhananjaya. Poundram dadamau mahashankam. Poundram dadamau mahashankam. Bhima karna vikodaraha. Panchajanya Hrishikesho Devadattam Dhananjaya Poundram Dadatmau Mahashankam Bhima Karna Vikodaraha. Lord Krishna blew his conch shell called Panchajanya. Arjuna blew his Devadatta, and Bhima, the voracious eater and performer of Herculean task, blew the terrific conch shell called Poundra. Okay, so there is a lot of importance for these particular what kind of a okay, so what I was saying is that there is, what's the time now? It's 5 o'clock. Okay, so for us, I will definitely complete the chapter today, the first chapter, and I wanted to give you some exercises, assignments, and we'll discuss some of the things from the introduction also, some have doubts. So just remind me, in next 15 minutes I'm going to complete, and 15 minutes we'll take it for question answers. Okay. So And here some things that we wanted to understand. What is this Panchajanya's Shanka? How this has come? See, why? Because little bit we need to understand. See, but once Krishna and Balram have killed this Kamsa, and they go into Sandipan Muni's ashram for learning the Siksha. And once they completed the Siksha, then Sandipa Muni, Krishna asks Sandipa Muni, what I can give you as a Guru Dakshina? Because this is how it used to be. Earlier, Guru Dakshina used to be asked after giving the education. Now it is not like that. Our education system is totally different. You pay first money. I don't believe you whether you will pay it after the class or not. So better you give me first. The same way hotels also used to be there. Hotels, when you go to any old hotels, never they used to have this token system. They used to say that eat whatever amount you want, then after that you give the money. Now we do not have any trust on anybody. So that's how it. So this is how it used to be our culture. So what happened is that Sandipa Muni is asked, what do you want as Guru Dakshina? Then Sandipa Muni says, you are the Supreme Lord. So what I should take from you? What I can ask? So then Sandipa Muni's wife asks, who calls Sandipa Muni and asks, say, we wanted our child back. So he was he died a long time back. So can you ask, because he's a Supreme Lord, so why don't you ask him? Then hesitantly or whatever, now we ask Krishna, and Krishna asks what happened. Then he says that he drowned in the ocean. My child drowned in the ocean. So why don't you give him back? Then he goes into the ocean, and in the ocean there is one Rakshasa or demon called the Panchajanya. Okay, Panchajanya demon is there, and basically that is conch shell is basically also belongs to that particular demon, and he takes that. But now that boy is no more there with that demon. He left to the other place where he is supposed to go, and now he goes to the where what is that loka where a lot of the people are getting punished. Yamaloka. So he goes to Yamaloka, and there he calls the Yamaraja, and Yamaraja, and then in the there he uses this this conch shell. He uses and he blows that shell. Immediately, basically, why he does that is because the Dwarapalakas ask Krishna, who are you? Oh, then he doesn't want to explain everything to him. So he just blows that conch shell, and running Yamaraja comes. And he comes and asks, oh, my lord, what I can do for you? Then he says that, give me the soul, this Sandipa Muni's son. Then he immediately gets him, and he says that he has not yet completed his whatever duration he has to stay here. Then he said, write it into my account. So what the Lord's account, what it will be there. So he can override anything, right? So he gets the son and hand it over to Sandipa Muni. That's how the Panchajanya has come into picture. And similarly, if you see, there's a lot that you can see from the way the Arjuna's character wise, if you see, it's a very nice and beautiful character. And the way he got all these celestial weapons, if you see his Gandiva, you see that whatever Shanka he was using. So what is Arjuna's Devadatta? So Devadatta Shanka, you got, see what happened here is that there was one Muni actually. I'll cut it short because we do not have a lot of time. See this, after this, the Lashagra was burnt, and they go and they marry Kunti, Draupadi, and later on they return to Indraprastha. Indraprastha is the place where Kauravas were there, including Duryodhana and all this. That was the capital. And they asked to give us some land, because we also wanted to rule. And now they say that, okay, take this Kandava Prastha. That is a place where there was nothing, no development was there. It was like a jungle only, jungle and that nothing. So then these Pandavas take that Kandav Prastha and then they go there. And then they were trying to clean up things and establish themselves there. And in that process, this Agni Dev comes and asks, and Krishna was also there. And Krishna and Arjuna were there. And that time, this what do you say, Agni Dev comes and says that he has a lot of indigestion. Whatever, that's a big story. They're in a different way. I will cut it short. And Agni says that I wanted to burn this entire Kandav Prastha, but there is one serpent king called Takshaka, and this Takshaka is a very good friend of Indra. And now because of that, whenever I wanted to burn this entire Kandav Prastha, and now whenever I kind of initiate the fire, Indra comes and he gives rain, and I couldn't really complete my task. So can you help me? And that's where Krishna says to Arjuna, you help them. And he Agni gives certain celestial weapons to him, and Varuna also gives some celestial weapons. And he kind of creates a kind of a roof such that when Agni can initiate it, no rain can enter. So that kind of a thing he does, and everybody was happy. And they gave this all these things, the Gandiva, what Arjuna had, and the horses and the chariot is given by Agni only, and Varuna. And later on, Indra is also very happy. You see, at the end of the day, who is Indra? He is the spiritual father for Arjuna. He's a father, because Kunti had a kind of a boon. From each demigod, she can beget children. So in that connection, though they are Pandu's children, but in a spiritually, these people, these demigods have helped Kunti to benedict these children. So Indra was a spiritual father for Arjuna. So that way, he kind of gets all these weapons, because without those weapons, it is not easy to really win this battle, and you cannot really conquer so many warriors. So all this has helped, and this is all Krishna's game plan. Okay, and why the name Dhananjaya also has come is when Yudhishthira Maharaj wanted to do Ashwamedha Yajna or big sacrifices. What they used to do is that Arjuna used to go to different kings and different kingdoms, and used to ask them if they can help them to establish their kingdom, and in the process they used to give them a lot of dhana. That's where the name Dhananjaya has come. He used to get all the wealth and give it to Yudhishthira Maharaj to establish his kingdom. That's how it used to happen. And so that's how it has. Arjuna has got so many what do you say, celestial weapons through which he was able to beat or defeat all these warriors, right? And going forward in other slokas in first chapter, see, first chapter is the preparation for the war. There is not much of philosophy in one sense, but you need to understand that there are few things that we understand from that perspective. D is for Dhritarashtra and Duryodhana, and O is for Omnivious, and what was the next one? U. Like that one will come there. Okay, U is uncertainty. We have seen that despite knowing that he defends virtue, Arjuna is still uncertain about fighting his opponents, who are also his relatives. So that is where the problem comes. He wanted to take the right decision, but he feels that they are relatives. To his credit, despite the intensity of the situation, Arjuna takes the time to reflect now. So it's an intense situation, but now he's the good quality. You see, Arjuna takes time to reflect. So this is where you also should say something. You have some desire. Now certain things are not going the way you are things are supposed to go. Now you need to reflect, introspect, find out what is the right way I need to go, seek the right guidance. So that is what Arjuna is doing. There is nothing wrong to get bewildered. There is nothing wrong to be in uncertain situation. There is nothing wrong to be confused, because by nature we are there. We are like that. So, but how you take care of to do things in that kind of a situation, as I told you in the earlier situation, tribulation happen, or some uncertainty happens, or some temptations come in your life. So how do you deal with that is very important. So think, okay, that is the modern people say that what is the difference between response and reply or react in one way. So you how do you respond is more important. Respond meaning you just reflect on it. Take time to reflect. Okay, life may be crammed with responsibilities and pressing issues, but attendance to such demand should not be done at the expense of quality of spiritual introspection. See, I remember vaguely there was one scientist who said that the kind of problems that you are facing in your life cannot be solved at the same level to solve that particular problem. You have to see it at a different angle now. So that's what, for your material problems, if you give a material solution, they may not be perfect. So, and you need to have a higher perspective. That's where spirituality comes in. The material problems, spiritual solutions. These are all spiritual solutions that we are getting. See, these are all, you are frustrated, you are uncertain. What are we doing? We are giving spiritual solutions. We have not yet started to give, but this is how we will proceed. Unfortunately, the chronic disease of modern man is the excuse of no time when it comes to such soul searching. Now, how many people have registered for these Bhagavad Gita classes? You tell me. 40. I'm not discouraging that only 40 have come or 30 have come or 20 have come. See, but we are more interested in quality than quantity. That's what Srila Prabhupada said when this ISKCON society was established. The rules and regulations were so many. As I told you, you need to come on time, be committed, this and that. And when you are in ISKCON also, there are certain things that we are do's and don'ts that we are very strictly following. So he said, but somebody said, relax this whatever are there in ISKCON, then a lot of people can join. There are 4 regulative principles where we don't do meat eating, we don't do gambling, we don't do illicit sex, we don't do any intoxication. So all the 4 regulative principles, no cheating, no gambling. So these are the things that we are supposed to follow. So if you relax certain things, a lot of people come. So, but Srila Prabhupada said, we don't want to relax because we are interested to give this quality education, quality knowledge to 5 people, not 100, 200. 5 people, if the quality is there, the purity will spread. That's the only reason why ISKCON is still spreading after the spiritual master who left this material world in 1978 or so. When he left, still the organization is spreading, and people like us who have not seen Srila Prabhupada still getting inspired because of the purity is the force. Okay, so we will quickly go through the next one, which is the 1.24. Sanjaya Uvacha Evam Yukto Rishikesho Gudakeshena Bharata Senayoru Bhayor Madhye Stapayati Radotama. Post descendant of Bharata, having thus been addressed by Arjuna, Lord Krishna drew up the fine chariot in the midst of the armies of the both parties. Okay, so the next acronym is Bewilderment. Foreseeing the imminent suffering and death that is inevitable consequence of the war, Arjuna begins to analyze his difficulty. At this stage of the broader spiritual vision, his uncertainty intensifies and he becomes bewildered. So now Arjuna is bewildered. He doesn't know what to do. When one lacks an understanding of his spiritual identity, so why he is having this problem? Because he is lacking the understanding of the spiritual identity, his relationship with the God, and the critical purpose behind this world. One inevitably becomes disturbed and frustrated by life's challenges. So the 5 things that Bhagavad Gita talks about, can somebody remember 5 things? First one is God, second one is Jiva, third is Prakriti,
Prakriti.
the fourth one Kala,
Karma.
and Karma. Very
Karma.
good. Thank you so
Karma.
much. Very good. So now this is what, if your spiritual identity can be identified when you know these five things. So once you know, you'll not get disturbed. Your uncertainty is gone. So you can take right decisions in your life. Right? Sri Arjuna Uvacha Tushvetvam Swajanam Krishna Yutsayam Samupastitam Siddhanti Mama Gatrani Mukham Cha Parishatyatiti. My dear Krishna, seeing my friends and relatives present before me in such a fighting spirit, I feel that the limbs of my body quirling and my mouth drying up. Okay, the turning point, the doubt, the last one, Arjuna justifies his decision to retract from fighting. Now he has given up, saying that I do not want to fight. It would be cruel and heartless to prematurely terminate the lives of so many soldiers. Now, this is what somebody says, that why should I kill all these soldiers? It is very brutal. So, though I should not do it. That is what Buddhism has come and said, Ahimsa Paramo Dharma, and everybody become a monk. Nobody wanted to be a soldier or anything. So that's what will happen. Okay, if you don't understand the Dharma properly or Bhagavad Gita properly, you don't have the right kind of guru. Even an unrivaled kingdom would bring no happiness, since he will be bereft of the company of his near and dear ones, because everybody will be killed. What will I do with this kingdom? Whom I can showcase now? One would surely accrue bad karma as a result of such brutal violence. The wholesale killing involved would destroy the family unit and social structure, causing havoc for future generation. He also justifies saying that if all the men, 40 lakh men are killed, what will happen to all the women? They will become widows, and the widows, they will have wrong things to do because men are not there to guide them. There is no protection. So progeny, whatever will be coming, will be adulterated. All these things he gives the justification. Thus his mind is overwhelmed by grief. Arjuna sets aside his weapons and resolves not to fight. That's how the first chapter ends. Okay. So I would like to take questions, and I have 10 more minutes to go. Okay, so let's have this sloka also. Nacha shreyo no pashyami hatva swajanama have nakankshe vijayam Krishna nacha rajyam sukhani cha. I do not see how any good can come from killing my own kinsmen in this battle, nor can I see my dear Krishna desire any subsequent victory, kingdom, or happiness. He gives up now. He doesn't want to king because he sees that only destruction is there. Why I should fight? Okay, so I would end here and quickly do the assignment part. Okay, so what I want you to do is quickly, is that okay if you can kind of extend by 5 minutes, 5 to 6, 7 minutes? Is that fine?
Yes.
Or is that fine?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Anybody has any objection, please? No, right? Okay, so we'll quickly go through the exercise. Okay, so I wanted you to put it in the chat. So see, please do not understand that I am trying to test you. So, but if possible, just give the answers in the chat. Okay. Why Dhritarashtra had a fear of losing the battle? First answer. Just put it on the chat. Don't answer. I'll pick up some few people to answer. Okay, C is the right answer. Okay. A lot of people are with C. So the first one was why Dhritarashtra had a fear of losing the battle, because the battle was to take place in a Dharmakshetra, which is a place of pilgrimage. Okay, and the second answer is because Pandavas were virtuous by nature. Prabhu, can you repeat? Manikanta Prabhu.
Okay, and
Mallikarjun, mute please, mute. Mute please, mute. Okay. Okay, so this third one is B and C, sorry, A and B, none of them. Okay, so a lot of people have given answer as C. What about others? Why there are 30 people, why others are not answering? Yeah, Yashoda Mataji C. Okay. Nitin C. Okay. So please participate, because unless until you use this faculty, they say that anything that God has given us are organs which are not used, that will not be you cannot really take advantage of that if you are not using it, because it's like not having it at all. Okay. So
Use it or not.
actually Ravi Teja. Okay. A and C. Okay. So let's get the answer now. I'm good. Okay. So I don't want any audio, because we need to quickly go through 15 questions. So the answer is C. So a lot of people have got the right answer. Okay. So both A and B are correct. So C is the right answer. Okay. And so if you are having, because we did not discuss a lot of things which are coming, but I presume that you have read the chapter 1, because we cannot cover all these things. We can the philosophical points I can cover, not many things. That's the reason. So the second question, what is the significance of the word Dharmakshetra and Kuruksetra apart from their historical and Vedic importance? It is a fastest finger first. I'll see who is the first one to answer. Okay. Suresh Ji was the first to answer. Was it Suresh? I think so. Manikand.
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you.
Okay, very good, very good. Okay. So please don't mind that I am putting some kind of a pressure on. There are some senior Prabhujis, Matajis, there are younger people. So some people are very good in reading. See, for me, to read itself, it will take time. So to answer also, it will be difficult. I understand. Okay. So most of you got it right. And so don't see the answer what other person is giving and then answer it. Okay. Okay, so the answer is right, that is D. Very good. So if I were like Amitabh Bachchan, I would have said that आप 2 लाख जीतते हैं या आप 3 लाख जीतते हैं, कौन बनेगा करोड़पति. Okay, why Duryodhana pointed out Dronacharya's mistake in the relation to his disciple Dushyadunya, the son of Drupada? Answers, please. Okay, the answers is coming on the way. Okay. So Matajis are not fast. You need to catch up Matajis. Monica Mataji is there, but Prabhujis are much faster. Sorry to say that. Yeah, that's fine. But yeah, the answer is all the above. D is the right answer. Okay. On account of the presence of great warriors on the Duryodhana's party, like Bhishma and others, what was his conclusion on the results of the battle? See, this is the Duryodhana's point of view, not Bhishma's point of view. Okay. Okay, it's a simple question, simple answer. Very good. Okay. So yeah, Shanmukhi Mataji. Okay. So the answer is A. He was confident after the victory because Duryodhana was a diplomat, and you know how many times Shishupala and Jarasandha has waged war with Krishna. They came together also. So big armies they used to get, and Krishna used to wipe off like anything, like within. But still they used to gather a lot of army again. They used to come, all new army. So because they have this diplomatic nature of inspiring people. That's what these modern people, all these people will tell you. Work is worship. There is nothing anywhere written called work is worship. This is all things that they have created. So and if you're thinking that you reached some target, that if you do not have a higher target again, that is a depth. So if you stop your excellence, it is a depth. Whatever they kind of do a lot of things. Okay. Oh, sorry, did we answer this? This is over, right? Okay. So Duryodhana, after praising Bhishma as far as superior general, why ask others to support him? Quick answer, please. Okay, so C, both A and B is the right answer. Because he wants everyone to feel important, because he didn't wanted anyone to be left neglected. So this is a diplomatic nature. So I'm not saying you shouldn't be diplomatic, but you need to know how to achieve. If you have desires, you need to know how to overcome. If some difficulties come in your life, how do you tackle them? That's more important. So that's what the this Duryodhana didn't have that. He was finishing people. He was going in the wrong way to do things. So he was not religious at all. How would anybody like Draupadi was his kind of bhabi, and like kind of a sister, you can say, and he was disrobing her in front of everybody. How shameless creature is that? Okay, what did actually Bhishma? Okay, what did actually Bhishma's loud blowing of conch shell symbolize for Duryodhana?
Yeah.
Okay, the answer is C. Okay, Shanmukhi Mataji is picking up. Okay, Yashoda Mataji. Okay. Okay. So next one. Wherever Krishna is present, the dash is also present. I would see who is the first person to answer this. Okay. Shanmukhi Mataji. Okay, B. Okay. Got it. Very good answer. Okay, Fortuna, goddess of fortune. Okay. So why the hearts of the sons of Dhritarashtra were shattered by the sound vibrated by Pandava's conch shell? I am only asking few people, but others are not answering. Please try, because there is we are not doing it to like a mundane exercise. Who comes first, etc. This is for our own self introspection. Okay, so I want you to read the chapter before. That is the reason why I am saying. So read the chapter before, so this will all become easy, because this is not all I have discussed. Okay, thank you. So the correct answer is B. Okay, somebody else. Because Pandavas were expert in the art of blowing conch shells. No, to blow conch shells, you don't. Everybody can see. Expert wise, when compared to Bhima and Duryodhana, who was more expert? You know, who was the pet student of? See, they both got trained from whom? You know, the Gada. Where did they learn? From whom? Anybody can answer?
Balrama.
Where did they? Huh?
Balrama Prabhuji.
As they learned from Balram, and Balram was Krishna's brother, right?
Balarama.
Now, yeah, Balrama, and now Balrama clearly mentioned that the expert. Please mute. Okay. So the Balrama clearly mentioned that Duryodhana is an expert in Gada, not Bhima, because he was really there. Duryodhana was expert. Doesn't mean that he is righteous. That's the problem. Okay. So now conch shell, they are not experts in one way. But yeah. Although Lord Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, why does he carry out orders of Arjuna? If you are go ahead, please, fast. I'll just complete. It is 5:30 now. More 2-3 minutes, we'll wind up. Okay, got it. Sunil Prabhuji. Okay. Santosh Prabhuji. Divya Mataji. Monica Mataji. Nitin Prabhu. Okay. Ashwini Mataji. Others also, please. Okay. Jitesh Prabhu, Ashwini Mataji, Shirisha Mataji, Monica Mataji, good. Pramila Mataji, where are you? Jyoti Mataji, where are you? Mallikarjun Rao Prabhu, Jyoti Mataji, okay. Trying is more important. We do not, whether right or wrong, doesn't matter. Try, that's all. You will know where you are. Okay, good. Thank you very much. Okay. Pramila Mataji is not giving answers. Okay, the answer is C, both A and B. Because Arjuna is a pure devotee of the Lord, because the Lord takes great but transcendental pleasure when a pure devotee is ordering him. That's how it is. He's a Bhakta Vatsala. He can go outrage. He can even, there are a lot of pastimes, we'll discuss that later. Okay. So thank you, Jyoti Mataji, thank you so much. That's the A is also the right answer, but B is also the right answer. Okay, next one, please. Krishna is dash, which means he never fails in his dash for his dash. Answers, please. Okay. Krishna is, you're saying supreme, which means he never fails in his attempts for his peace. Okay. Doesn't go correctly. Okay. Okay, I was just seeing if anybody gives the right answer. Nobody has given right answer till now. Okay, Rakhi Mataji. Okay. Wow, Rakhi Mataji, you made a great turn. Okay. Okay. Mallikarjun Prabhu. Okay. I'm sorry, I'm biased by answering certain things. Okay. So the right answer is B, infallible. So Krishna is infallible. Okay. Which means he never fails in his affection for his devotees. Okay, C is the right answer. Thank you, Prabhuji. Okay, Krishna is Rishikesa. Rishikesa means what? So that for that you should have read the chapter 1, then you could have known what is Rishikesha. Okay. Oh, then there are some people who have read the chapter 1. Very good. Sushma Mataji ki jai. Okay, Rakhi Mataji, everybody. Okay, good, good, good. Fantastic. Everybody got it right. Thank you so much. Upon seeing his kinsmen, relatives, and friends on the battlefield, why Arjuna feels his limbs of the body quivering and thus overwhelmed with the compassion. This is little tough. Let's see. Okay. Okay. Rakhi Mataji, you are answering twice. Okay. Okay. So yeah, Shiva Mataji also has got it right. Okay. So the correct answer is both B and C. Okay. Arjuna was not weakness of the heart. It is not weakness of the heart. Because of the soft-heartedness. He had soft-heartedness, which is the characteristic of a pure devotee. Weakness of the heart means he was not able to. That's a different way. That is not the right characteristic of Arjuna. So he is not afraid that he is going to be killed, and that is the weakness of the heart. He is not worried about himself. He's talking about others. What will happen to others? Everybody. He was talking about so many things, right? It's not a weakness of the heart. Okay. B and C are the right answer because of fear of loss due to material conception of life. That's one thing, and because of soft-heartedness. What according to Arjuna will be the consequence of the elders and the families after they getting killed? Okay, so this is, make it fast please. We just have a few more minutes to go. Okay, fine, fantastic, fantastic. Very Pramila Mataji, thank you so much. Okay. Okay, so correct answer is both A and B. All these arguments which Arjuna presents before Krishna as why he should not fight were dash. Based on Arjuna's personal experience, heard by Arjuna from authorities, C, because they were real, and none of the above. Okay, fast please. Okay, fantastic. Santosh Prabhuji, Jyoti Mataji, Rakhi Mataji, answers were correct. Yeah, and Monika Mataji. Yes. Heard by Arjuna from authorities. If you read Bhagavad Gita chapter 1, you will see that it is not his personal experience he's speaking about. He was speaking from what he heard from the authorities. That is what it is. Okay. The last and final one. Arjuna finally casts aside his bow and sits down on the chariot, having decided not to dash. Okay, this everybody will get it. Yeah, right. Thank you. Okay, so that's what we have done for today, and wanted to open up if there are any one or two questions. And I know that I was supposed to ask you some questions from the introduction part, which I will do it in the next class. And also for the chapter 1, there will be some other questions that I'll be also asking. So please prepare yourself for chapter 1 and introduction, and also for chapter 2 also read it yourself. And once we come, we'll just, if you can quickly have that maturity, we'll discuss more other things, other pastimes, and more intricate philosophical details, which I am skipping now, which I can do when you do your homework properly. You be prepared much more than what I am preparing. Okay. Yeah, thank you so much. I'll open up if you have any questions, any doubts. That would be the next one. Yes, please. Anybody?
Prabhuji,
Yeah,
how
please.
many years does war occur?
How many days what?
How many years war occur?
18 days. 18 days was the war.
Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you.
So 18 days the war happened, and Duryodhana was kind of there, and few others were there in the 18th day, and he was kind of hiding himself in a river, sorry, in a pond, and finally he kind of came to a compromise, saying that I wanted to give things to you, so leave me. But yeah, we will discuss that. Okay. Yeah, any other
Prabhuji,
questions? Go ahead.
Prabhuji, Balram is own brother of Krishna. Prabhuji, or cousins or fir
Balram
both are
was
own brothers.
no. So Balram was not from Devaki and Vasudeva. No, he was from Vasudeva had two wives. Balram was the wife of like he was
Rohini, bro.
Rohini.
Vasudeva have two wives, Prabhu.
Pardon, Prabhuji?
Vasudeva, Krishna father Vasudeva have two wives.
No, Swamiji, yesterday's I have seen in the TV, and when the 7th pregnancy was taken place, and Rohini will come and request the Vasudeva to give the, so that Kamsa won't, so she will take with the, it was like that.
Oh, thank you, Mataji. I know that. Yeah, but finally, yeah, see, Balrama is what? He is also a supreme person, Krishna's expansion only, right? If you see, Krishna doesn't come, Supreme Lord doesn't come alone. When Rama came, Lakshmana was there along with him. Who was Lakshmana? He was same, Balram was Lakshmana. Like, if you see, always, and when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came, he was none other than Krishna. Who was Nityananda Prabhu? Nityananda Prabhu was Balram. Like, they all the time they will come together. That's how it is. Okay, so good. Thank you, Mataji. And
Okay.
any other question? One last question, and we'll end because I have taken 10 more time. And there are few things I wanted to tell you in terms of assignment wise. So if you can, if you have any last question, please tell me. Then I will end by giving you some things what you need to do, how you need to do.
Prabhuji, why Balram is not participated in the war?
Balram personally did not participate in the war. Yeah, that's correct. But I think his Sena was given to Kauravas. I think I'm not sure about that. I need to check.
Yes, correct. Yes, correct. Narayani Sena.
Oh yeah, that is true. Krishna and Balaram were together, right? So they were, and Narayani Sena is what it has gone to Kauravas. Yeah, that's right.
Kauravas.
Yeah, Kauravas. Yeah, and Balaram did not participate in either side. In the war.
Balaram trained Duryodhana and Bhima. Both
he
are
was
sisters of Balaram.
yeah.
That's why he did not participate.
But Balaram was always favoring his pet student, Duryodhana. And so he was, and you know what, Subhadra, his sister, they were supposed, Balaram was interested to give it to Duryodhana. And with Krishna's intention, Arjuna came and very nicely he elopes, like you say that right, these days, bhaag ke shaadi karna hai. So that kind of a thing, it's a big drama. How Subhadra was taken away from Arjuna comes in a different this thing, in the disguise of a Brahmana. He comes and lot of things he does. Okay, so good, fine. Thank you so much. Any other last question you have? Ask me any philosophical questions. Nobody is asking very philosophical questions that you can apply in your life, spiritual, practical kind of thing. So see why I'm saying this, because this historically, this is our, see, anything past times we related to Krishna, he will give you spiritual satisfaction. Yes, definitely, yes, that is really going to transform your life. But if there are any pressing points, pressing things in your life, you are not able to make decisions, then read Bhagavad Gita with that intention also, and ask for mercy to understand Bhagavad Gita. Then things will reveal to you. Okay, so fine. Can we move then? Any questions? Okay. So the one.
Prabhuji, one last question, Prabhuji.
Yeah, let us give chance to Mataji. Yeah, go ahead, Mataji.
Okay.
Prabhuji, for the past like 1 week or so, I was trying to do service without expecting any result, but I am not able to, because I am trying to do something that I will be getting something from that. Matlab, how to do service without expecting anything? That is my question.
Okay, then you have to wait till Karma Yoga. That is so the next chapters that are going to come, and in some way in the second chapter also it is there. So there are different types of karma, Nishkama karma, Akarma, and Vikarma, and Sakama karma. So there are different types of karmas, and without expecting anything, all these things are there. We'll discuss it in a very logical way. I cannot give you one straightforward answer, but one thing I would definitely, as I discussed today, the amount of if you can detach yourself. Don't be selfish with yourself. Whatever you are doing, it is because for your self-satisfaction. Just leave some things to do it for others also. So you might put see, again, as I told you, when we learn about karma, we'll see how people do karma. One, they give it for the sake of others. Some do it without any expectation of the results. Some people do it for the satisfaction of others. Some satisfaction of the Supreme Lord is the ultimate. So how we do all this will systematically go. I'm not going to jump now, but right now what I'll say is that just focus on your personality. Just to introspect what you are, what is happening with you. Write it down. Keep a journal for yourself. What kind of a person you are, and slowly you will see that your character starts changing, and you can change. And whatever is coming in your mind, write it down. I do that. So
Sorry for
yeah, that's
Swamiji. If you keep
so
in
much.
your mind,
Mataji, I do not have time because a lot of people are waiting. It is more than 15 minutes. I passed. Please forgive me.
Swamiji, if you do the service for dharma, you will not be selfish. You will not feel selfish. If you do service for dharma, you will not feel selfish.
Yeah, then the question is what is dharma? A lot of things. Thank you, Mataji. What we will say is that right now, read Bhagavad Gita. The answers are there at your level also. And write down all your questions. And slowly, while we are going through all these chapters, all these questions will be addressed. And you will get clarity about your life. You will have clarity about how you should do things, and what you can expect, what you cannot expect, or how you should do bhakti, how to interact others. Everything will be like crystal clear to you. Okay, fine. Thank you so much. And what I'm expecting you from the next 4 or 5 days is that read Bhagavad Gita, write down your important points, and those people who are interested, I would say that please try to read some important slokas that I've read, or from your perspective, whatever you feel this is important, mark that and pronounce those verses. And remember that. See, the Samskriti means those who have attended my Ramayana 3-day classes might have seen we have divided one into Samskriti also. One each day we have taken one. Samskriti means that comes from the root word called Sanskrit. Samskrutamu. Inchi Samskriti ochindi. So Samskriti means kind of culture. This culture or character you can build, and a culture it can come evolve when you read Sanskritam also. So that is the reason why you should pronounce these slokas, because when you give that vibration to your body, that also, and this is coming from the lotus mouth of Bhagavan Shri Krishna. So how much potency it has got, just imagine. So same thing you are repeating. So try to remember few slokas if possible, slowly as per your capacity. That's what I can recommend. And write your own notes and mark in the Bhagavad Gita important points. A very, very important thing, note down all your doubts. Whether you are getting clarified with me or not, you can personally send me a message. I will answer it. If possible, I can answer it. If not, I'll ask you to wait till some of the chapters are over, whatever, but note down all your doubts. That's very important. One last thing is that read the subsequent chapter, which is chapter 2, which is a summary of all the of Bhagavad Gita is what comes in chapter 2. That way you get an overview about the entire Bhagavad Gita now. So read through and in the 5 days complete it if possible. Those who have not attended Discover Yourself classes, read Science of Self-Realization, and also those who have already attended Discover Yourself, we do not have perfect knowledge, though we have done it in 10 days. Right, so read it, and there is no harm if you read that also again. Okay, so please do that. I am going to end it now. Thank you so much, and have a nice week ahead, and be safe. Any questions, any concerns, please reach out to me and give me your feedback. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, please see the chat.
See the chat, huh? Shiva Mataji has given something. Except Arjuna.
Actually, I want to know, except Arjuna, what Vidur has did, he got the know about Supreme Lord for this Gita Gyan.
Oh yeah. He's who? He was the Dharmara. He's the, what do you say? What was he in the previous life?
Yamaraj.
Yamaraj. So Yamaraj means he's the devotee of Krishna, because he's taking that position, meaning he knows in and out about Krishna. So he knows. So he came now, and Vidura is none other than Yamaraj. So he knows everything. He knows Krishna is the Supreme Lord. There is a lot of pastimes where when Duryodhana has, so we will discuss that in the next class. So he goes and have affectionate relationship with Vidura only, and has dinner prasadam or whatever prasadam he wants to take. He doesn't want anything from the palace. He goes to a kutir where Vidura is there, and he takes prasadam from there. And there's a very nice pastime that has happened, where with affection he is provided, and his wife, Vidura's wife, is also a great devotee. So yeah, we'll discuss that. Yeah. Thank you so much. I'm ending for today. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna, Mother.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Prabhu.
Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Suresh Prabhu. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna,
Thank you,
Prabhuji.
thank you.
Thank you, Pramila Mataji. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Thank you very much, everyone. Sorry, I individually wanted to address, but others. Okay, thank you so much. I'm leaving. Thank you.